A smuggler in New Mexico is chasing a family through the desert while brandishing a gun, requests payment for transporting them to the border. They unexpectedly notice a guy in the distance and presume is the border patrol, but the soldier quickly descends the hill and leaps on the man to consume him. This all began on a military base in New Mexico 2 days ago. When Commander Murdoch abruptly interrupts Snowman when he is conducting some tests on pigs, who reminds him that a crucial visit is coming up and they need answers quickly. However, in a prison in Alonso, a prisoner in Mexico is greeted with a song and cake for his birthday, as well as to considering that he is being extradited, bid him farewell. He makes a speech and then observes a new guard and approaches him to talk, offering to buy him a drink and making fun of him because he can, which seems suspicious. A former soldier. Reporter Lilia is outside covering the extradition of Alonso, stating that he is the most dangerous dealer in Mexico. 4 years ago, he was arrested while was eating in a luxury restaurant, and he allegedly continued to conduct his business from behind bars, not to lose against the Apostles, a competing cartel. He lost his wife to a rare illness. Additionally, their only child is unknown. Alonso has visited this particular prison before because no one has ever managed to escape. Agents Becerril and Cruz start to flirt in the restroom, even though they are aware that if anyone notices them, they will be fired. After then, they return to their group, where they will be transporting a highly dangerous criminal. Becerril warns them while doing so. Additionally, 2 DEA employees in Texas get ready to pick up Alonso at the Paradise Rehab Center. However, Dr. Henry is telling to a patient in New Mexico that improvements will take months to complete, and that is the reason they are clearing the space. He receives a call from his cousin Alonso at that very moment. He turns up the radio to 11 so the police won't notice anything. Henry claims to have space. Alonso tells him he's starting his vacation today and tells him to get ready. A while after, when a senator visits the base, he meets with Snowman, who describes his research. He has been working on a serum that will produce super troops by utilizing insects' lack of pain perception. He injects a pig with the serum to show how it works, but the animal only pukes and perishes. The senator tells Murdoch they only have a week because she is upset with him for wasting her time to deliver results. Otherwise, the initiative will end. After she leaves, Murdoch yells at Snowman, telling him to solve this or he'll be blacklisted. Sometime later, Snowman injects another pig that quickly passes out. Sergeant Valencia thinks it's still alive, but Murdoch grabs it and throws it away before ordering her to take all the dead animals away. After he leaves, Snowman picks up the pig and separates it from the others to inject it with a double dose. Later in the middle of the desert, Valencia is getting rid of all the dead pigs and is pleasantly surprised to discover one of them is still alive, so she sets it free. Back to Lilia. She's putting on a disguise, taking with her a camera and a toy gun. After that, she visits the prison and waits in the visitor's room. She puts the fake gun into the bag of a different customer before shouting that the man is armed. Well, she takes a visitor's pass and enters without getting caught as everyone scrambles, and the police react. The lens. Lilia enters the section for visitors who are engaged in sexual activity after the other women. Director Contreras switches off all the security after receiving a communication from the prison telling everyone that it is time cameras. Alonso had been shot in the ball when the new guard entered the cell and fired at the bed. Seeing this coming, she turns around and assaults him. A battle breaks out, and after trading blows, the guard is defeated by Alonso, who then uses his own gun to kill him. Then he makes his getaway by a hole he has dug, hidden behind the bathroom so that when the special agents enter the cell, they only discover body of a guard. With the aim of interviewing Alonso, Lilia pulls out her camera, but she instead gets to record the prison raising the alert about a scapegoat. Below ground, Alonso encounters one of his gang members, and the two of them cycle away. A lone dog in the desert is starving. The dead pig opens its weird eyes as the predator approaches to eat on it. That instant, the other pigs all appearing creepy as well, and jump on the dog to viciously devour it. Once they've finished eating, They race down a drainage tube after smelling another prospective victim. When Bessariel inquires about the new guard in the prison, Contreras makes a show of ignorance. Then Bessariel moves the toilet after noticing it seems strangely clean in order to find the hidden passageway. He then declares that this is his case at this time and threatens Contreras, telling him not to take his side. Lilia is filming everything, but the guards catch her and grab the camera. She argues that Contreras shouldn't arrest her since doing so would make her a news story. They let her leave since they know he'll go viral too. Bessariel and his team start scouring the tunnel while after hearing about the escape and the press, the DEA moves quickly to join the hunt. Next, Alonso meets with his old gang and informs them that the guard who attempted to kill them was likely by the apostles dispatched. He then meets up with his son Lucas, who reprimands his father and forbids a hug that he left him behind. The gang leaves the room after setting up the explosives, so by the location is empty. When Bessariel's squad gets there, the explosives go off as they scan their surroundings and blow up the room, which falls apart right away. When they awaken a short while later, they confirm everyone is, despite some wounds, they are still alive. The pigs arrive at that time and charge the agents, who started shooting right away. Nevertheless, the pigs manage to get there and start eating the soldiers, whose while slowly dying bodies also start to resemble crazy pigs. Snowman blends the mixture back in the lab serum into the pig with his recreational powder, but the pig also perishes. Though after as soon as Snowman leaves the room, the pig starts to act strangely and shake its cage violently. Opens to allow it to leave. It then charges into the other cages and starts murdering the other pigs. Upon his return, Snowman immediately rushes to bring Murdoch and announce the massacre. His achievement. He is aware that changes must be made to the serum to stop cannibalism and he requests the pigs that were discarded since he is certain they are not actually dead. Liliacus and the group follow Alonso into a tunnel, becomes upset when his father declines to teach him how to operate a firearm. They eventually locate a collection of. They descend a flight of steps and emerge through a hole to reach the rehabilitation facility on the American side, where they are welcome to elude Henry. Even though he has set up a room for Lucas, he is not content. They secured his. He dislikes being in the middle of nowhere with a child and the room is too childlike for him. Group of elderly males. He longs to visit his former school and engage in some friendly play. Soon after, the soldiers who are unconscious underground awaken, revealing they have turned into zombies. They repeat Alonso's name while they dig their way out of the hole because they can speak a few words. Tunnel and start chasing him through the desert. Once they encounter a gate, they continue moving by bending the metal bars with their newly acquired strength. When a snake is discovered, they simply kill it and eat it. In the area, Snowman and Valencia seek for the pigs and discover the body of the dog. A growling pig with a bloodied face emerges through the tunnel at that precise moment. Snowman prevents Valencia from shooting it even if she wants to. They approach the animal carefully before it abruptly jumps to attack, but Valencia, fortunately, intercepts it just in time. As the evening wore on, the Secretary Lilia questions Secretary of State about the claims that Alonso received inside assistance during his press conference. If the secretary does indeed guarantee penalties. When Contreras watches this on TV, he becomes anxious. Later, he receives a call from the Apostles' prophet advising him that he has 48 hours to fix his mistake. The following day, Lucas tells Dog his father is all right with him learning to shoot, but this is a lie. Dog instructs him. When Alonso learns of this, he decides to approve it, even commending Lucas for his accuracy. Following that, Alonso instructs his men to constantly be prepared for an impending attack because he's certain that the apostles will attempt again and even has suspicions that one of them is a traitor. Meanwhile, El Romeo, a prisoner in a Texas jail, berates the officer and criticizes the food. But before things get out of hand, a different guard calls out that Romeo is paying a visit. Joel from the DEA. Alonso is to blame for Romeo's current situation because he is unaware that the two used to be great friends in a cell. Joel nearly caught Alonso once but lost him, therefore he is now so driven to succeed in his pursuit that he offers Romeo a deal, freedom in return for aiding in the capture of Alonso. Romeo consents provided that in the end, he is the one who gets to murder Alonso. They are about to cross the border later. Romeo tells Alonso some stories of his earlier exploits. Discovering his behaviors, Joel turns his truck around after realizing Alonso must be in the United States and not Mexico. Lilia is brought to visit Contreras in the afternoon, who offers her 2 million pesos to assist him in finding Alonso. Lilia first declines, but Contreras later threatens to arrest her and damage her image. Lilia agrees, but only if she may cover the extradition exclusively. They tremble it, and Lilia swiftly leaves as Contreras tries to kiss her. After a brief delay, a mystery automobile starts pursuing her. Lilia notices and chooses to abandon the automobile and attempt to swim across a pool. Sneak out by going to the women's restroom. She is followed inside by a man who displays his badge. However, a woman yells at him and urges him to go. Valencia is taking the undead back to the base. Another soldier walks over to the caged pig to get a better look. I disregarded Valencia's advice. The pig bites the soldier when he sticks his finger inside the cage. He is brought to Snowman by Valencia, who requests that she and his aide tie him to a table while avoiding touching the injury. The diseased after shaking for some time till he passes away. The soldier suddenly awakens as a zombie. As Alonso and his team review another video of Lilia requesting an interview, which he assures him will be secure, Alonso phones Lilia and informs her that Lucas claims to believe her. He'll carry it out. After that, Alonso gives Lucas a huge surprise, a drone of his own. Even Lucas adores it if his father remembers he gave him one in the past, and he swears to keep the drone from flying over fence. Lucas, though, decides to send the drone out nonetheless while he waits by the gate. After a short while, when he is close enough to the drone, he can re-establish signal. After leaving the center after losing it, Lucas observes the walking zombie troops in the photograph. In relation to the zombies, they have been in the gang from the beginning and are attacking each individual to feed and kill them. After Cruz, she approaches the pregnant woman, pauses, and tenderly touches her belly before shooting her. Likewise No-Balls departs the center at the same time to release a message bird, but Alonso stays. He is caught in the act and shot, killing the bird in the process. Alonso then takes up the affirms No-Balls' employment with the apostles in the message. Fearful, No-Balls starts to flee. Alonso pursues him while he keeps shooting, but soon loses track of him. The group notices the gunfire and comes to assist, requesting that Alonso let them pursue No-Balls so he can return to his child. In the meantime, Dawes notices that Lucas has vanished and sets out to find him. When Alonso comes back, using binoculars, he locates Dog and pursues him after discovering the house to be vacant. Luke notices the chance to the reformed smuggler from a distance, but when he discovers the man is scary, Lucas hurls a rock his way. The zombie is just enraged by this and starts pursuing the boy, but Dog shoots the smuggler just as he is about to catch him. Alonso notices the gunfire and Dog checks on Lucas when Lucas is being run in that direction, but the zombie strikes after recovering from the shot. Dog is bit during the battle between the two men, so Lucas tries to divert attention. A rock-wielding zombie. When the smuggler turns against him, Dog seizes the opportunity to kill him. His blade. Dog then instructs Lucas to flee so that he won't see him shift. The group locates No-Balls. No-Balls is quick enough to flee and lose them when No-Balls starts firing while hidden in the trees. He eventually returns to the middle and tries to flee by entering the tunnel. Gang member pursues him. No-Balls hears him there, however, and hides before surprising him with a strike. Following some difficulty, No-Balls murders the man and carries on. Later, he discovers the soldiers and fires, but he manages to escape. If he misses his shots, the zombies will still attack him. Returning to Alonso, he at last sees his son, who tethers him to Dog. Lucas approaches the man and asks him to close his eyes since they believe he is dead, just for Dog to awaken and strike. Fortunately, Alonso moves quickly and shoots him dead, labeling him an enemy. Lucas corrects him while sobbing and tells his father what actually transpired. Alonso, however, doesn't think so. They then head home after rejoining the gang, without realizing Cruz is watching from a distance. Later, Lilia was in Texas. Henry comes to pick her up when she arrives. Before leaving, He takes her phone and puts his hand over her eyes. However, he stops the car and grabs his revolver as they get to the road. It appears that Contreras' partner Henry has a strategy since he has been following them all along. Lelia collapses in the middle of the highway. He poses as being asleep, so when the officer stops his vehicle, Henry flies in and strikes. He used his own car to do it. Then, to my horror, he drags the police officer from the vehicle and kills him. Then Valencia starts the zombie hunt by leaving with 2 additional men. Once they get in the desert, believing they are zombies, they spy 3 individuals walking around and pursue them on foot, but they are actually illegal immigrants who flee because they believe the border is closing. Police are pursuing them. The soldiers attempt to pursue them as they return to the vehicle but fail. Instead of hitting something right to capture Alonso, Henry is on the road and Lelia becomes stuck as a result of the car's breakdown. Henry refuses Lelia's insistence that they use her phone, disagrees and says they're going to walk. Suddenly, an automobile passes past and comes to a stop. Who is a priest, notices Lelia and, believing she is a nun, offers to drive. Joel and Romeo at last meet as the zombie soldiers approach the center. Lelia and Henry remain in the car with the priest, who is also drinking, and depart in a helicopter considerably and approaches Lelia. When Henry throws away his bottle, they start talking about the devil, only to be stopped when a zombie breaks through the road and attempts to jump onto the automobile. Henry yells out his name after recognizing him as one of the gang members, but the undead responds. Bites the priest after peering through the car's window. Lelia contends with the driver of the vehicle and just as the automobile is about to leave, the zombie successfully dragged the priest through the glass, only to finish within seconds, up crashed. The zombie continues to attack the priest and consumes him in this conflict. The rehab center's guard notices the person and calls for assistance. Henry is able to escape the automobile and starts firing, but the zombie then charges at him. Lelia enters the room before the bite and kills the undead with a shot. The priest is then checked on, but he's already passed away. That instant, Alonso drives them away after showing up in a car. Henry provides superior treatment when they get back to the center, while Luke's the center, where Bessariel actually gives out. The zombie army roars into the sky and rushes their tactical directives for their assault. The gang members emerge as the zombies scale the wall, open fire, struggling to kill them because they can't tell where to aim their weapons. That chopper Murdoch's crew notices the smoke and the gunfire, and they begin moving toward the center. Romeo and Joel exit the chopper unharmed and discover 3 other zombies when they go outside. So they start firing. They kill the priest and a soldier right away, but the gang member escapes. A zombie sneaks inside the house after eluding the security officers, so Henry, Alonso, Lelia, and Lucas hide further within as you flee. Lelia exposes the existence of a second concealed phone and starts filming as the Lucas chamber is examined by the monster soldier. Alonso is hiding behind the stuffed animal collection and attempts to kill her. When the zombie spots him, though, he drags him outside and throws him up against the wall. The Alonso is the 2 of them fall through the glass door as Lucas approaches, with her being shot once more to drop him. Comes out of hiding and adds a shot. He cannot avoid being pursued by another zombie to flee, leaving his father behind. Even when he tries to hide under the table, the zombie still spots him. Fortunately, Lelia discovers them and uses accurate shooting to kill the undead. Lucas then takes a closer look at the body and notices that the zombies have 2 hearts that resemble insects. A few images. Alonso arrives at that point and, after berating Lelia for filming everything, he joins them, removes them. After firing a few shots at the zombie, Henry, who is also engaged in combat with one, covers it with he is doused with liquid smoke, set on fire, and then struck with a chair to knock him into the wall. Zombified Nobles battles with his former friends despite the fact that his head is constantly being overtaken by memories from killing. In any case, Cruz and Bessariel are happily hunting alongside one another, while additionally, a soldier enters the home and engages a gang member who has just left a grenade before hiding in the lavatory. Before pursuing the man, the zombie simply throws the grenade into the air and runs away. When Bessariel calls for him to join them, he does nothing. Lucas, Lelia, and Alonso attempt to flee. Backdoor, only to discover another zombie. A battle breaks out after Alonso's shots miss, but Lilia gives Alonso a chance to kill the zombie by properly shooting him. Lucas examines more closely at this one as well, pointing out that the cerebellum, not the brain, is their weak point. The group then returns inside. Romeo and Joel soon follow and split off to cover additional ground. Joel snatches a wine bottle while ignoring the zombie corpse. Then he hears Alonso and the others, so he charges the space. Alonso pulls out a gun, but Lucas prevents him from firing because he's sprinting to embrace Romeo, and before they can react, Joel enters with the zombie in tow him. The three guys end up killing the zombie in minutes with coordinated shooting, but they are now trapped and they decide on a temporary ceasefire in order to end the Mexican conflict. As Becerril and Cruz carry on, Murdoch's vehicles burst through the front gate to slip around, and the soldiers start moving. Snowman warns them to head home because he needs at least one living body. The undead when a soldier arrives but disobeys orders. Valencia and her team start shooting while ignoring Snowman's commands protests. Murdoch then tries to speak to individuals inside with a megaphone, which makes Cruz and Becerril pause while holding a few smoke bombs. Henry and the last gang that was left were inside. Somebody joins Alonso's crew. This person admits to being the Apostle's snitch. However, Alonso chooses to spare his life because doing so would be worse than leaving him to the undead. Cruz and Becerril toss a weapon through the front window as Alonso's squad tries to make their way to the exit door and emerge with their arms raised in surrender, their horde following suit. Behind them something, as the soldiers round them, Valencia interacts with them to gain information. They desire Alonso. He overhears this and decides to lead the company through an alternative route as a result. Alonso allows them to leave, but forbids Joel from following. The group makes their way out the rear door. Joel returns to the mole of the Apostles to negotiate a bargain. Becerril exhibits his speaking ability outside fairly well. He claims they are not dead and are not animals. He then flashes a signal, and the horde starts throwing smoke bombs. The soldiers fire recklessly, but Snowman cautions them against doing so. If you hurt them, the zombies will flee to the hills. Alonso, meanwhile, leads his group to the guard's post where it is revealed that there is just one last gang member, and together they demolish the tunnel lid to allow them to elude. The entire group collapses, leaving Alonso as the final survivor by a zombie who jumps on him and bites his arm. Alonso fires at him to remove it, then descends he shuts the tunnel behind him as well. He conceals the wound from the others, who rush to make unaware that pigs are still waiting for them in the tunnel on their trip back to Mexico. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.